Hi, it's Kathy again with a grades video this time about some of the pitfalls and things to watch out for as you're working in your grade book in Canvas. So one of the first things I would recommend is that you start with your syllabus. Look at your syllabus and your grade book should match what your syllabus says. So if your syllabus says there's 3 tests, you should have 3 tests in your grade book in Canvas. If your syllabus said your assignments are worth 45 points each, they should be 45 points each in Canvas. If your syllabus says participation is worth 10% of your grade, it should be 10% of their grade in Canvas as well. So one of the tricks is I think it's best to set up your gradebook completely in Canvas before the quarter starts. If you only have a couple of assignments done and students look at their grades, they think they're doing great. Then you add some major assignments and it really throws off the math for what was there and what is there now. This can cause a lot of confusion for students, so it's best to have it all set up. And I realize sometimes things change as the quarter goes along, but in general, it should be a done deal at the beginning of the quarter. Also, if you're going to give extra credit, add it at the beginning of the quarter. Adding it at the end kind of isn't fair to those students who worked like crazy trying to get a good grade on something when they could have done some extra credit later if they had known about it. As you set up your gradebook and you've got a whole bunch of assignments in there, you may have assignments in there that are for way later in the course and you don't want your students to do them yet. Well, you can take care of that by setting dates in Canvas. We all know there are due dates and there are until dates, but they're also available from dates. They're marked with an arrow here in this screenshot, and those are dates when the item is available for students to turn something in. They may still be able to see the assignment, but they can't do anything with it yet. So those will help you limit how assignments start coming into your class. Also, keep your gradebook up to date. As the quarter goes on, fill in grades. As you finish grading an assignment, fill in that column in your gradebook, either just by going to the gradebook or by using the speed grader. Make sure every cell is filled in. So if a student didn't turn it in and they're going to turn it in next week, put a 0 in there. It's a good reminder to the student when they see that 0, and it will calculate their grade correctly until they turn in the submission and you regrade it and change that number. So fill in every cell in the gradebook. Fill in every cell for extra credit in the gradebook. All the numbers should be there in the gradebook. Next, if you've muted an assignment because perhaps you're working on it and you didn't finish it, you decided not to use that in your gradebook, that grade is still kind of floating around, and it's better if you either delete the assignment or unpublish it instead of leaving it unmuted. Basically, everything in the gradebook is a done deal. It should be unmuted, all grades showing, all grades filled in. Remember also, by default, Canvas calculates grades based on just what's been graded so far. So if a student's only finished one assignment out of 100 assignments and they got a really good grade on it, they'll think they have a really good grade in the course. So make sure you teach your students that and that you keep track of that idea as well. So I want to show you how to download your gradebook from Canvas and how to read it, because there's a lot of confusion about this actually. So you're going to go to your grades, you're going to click on export, and then the word current will show. What you're going to get is what's called a CSV file, and it opens right in Excel. So I'm going to show this to you. So let's go to a Canvas course. This is one we've been looking at. This is a course that is just graded on total points, nothing about weighting categories. So you can see I have 3 students, excuse me, they have their grades going across in the course. You'll see for the very first student, one of them is gray because Canvas was set to drop the lowest one score, so that has been taken care of in the calculations. Same thing for the second student and the third student. As we go across to the far right, you'll see their total grade. But what is that total grade? Does that include anything that's not graded or things that are graded? Interesting question, isn't it? You also see that as I look at these, the last student, Barkley, I intentionally left a grade off. Okay, there's nothing there. There should be. Everybody else has solid grades clear across, including the extra credit at the end that nobody did. So let's take a look at what the CSV file looks like for this. In the upper right, I click Export and the word Current to get the current gradebook. Depending upon your settings, it'll ask you if you want to save it or it will just save it for you. I'm going to go ahead and open this. Let me drag it over. It's kind of a confusing screen, but you can see in column A, I've got my students' names and internal Canvas number, their login information, all kinds of stuff. Here finally are the assignments. You can see here's homework 1 and here's homework 2, and they go across. Here's the blank score for that last student. So let's go across to the far right. This is what confuses everybody. It's like 2 grades in the course. There's a current score and a final score. Wouldn't you think they'd be the same? Well, if you filled in every cell, they are the same. Here you can see the first student got 82.3, 82.3. The second one, 88.9, 88.9. But the last one who's missing a grade, the grades are not the same. One of these depends on whether you include that assignment that's not graded or not. So what I do, I get this file, I look at those last 2 rows, and if the numbers are the same, I'm feeling pretty good. If the numbers are not the same, I go back and I look in the gradebook and see what's going on to figure out, what did I do? So again, especially those people that are at the bottom of the grading list, sometimes you forget to scroll down and get the last couple. So double check these and see if they equal each other. If they do, good enough. Either grade is exactly the same then. And if they don't, go find out why. And then once they're the same, you can use either column to figure out your final grades to enter into Instructor Briefcase. Hope this has helped some of those problems that come up when we're using the gradebook in Canvas at the end of the quarter.